Chosen one. You are chosen, and everything that tried to break you was never stronger than what God put inside you. Stop what you are doing. Not because this is another message, because something shifted the moment this found you, and you already felt it. Before a single word landed, something in your chest moved. That was not emotion responding to content. That was your spirit recognizing a word that was written over your life long before this moment, long before this season, long before the first thing that was supposed to break you tried to break you. You did not stumble onto this. You were directed here, and the reason you were directed here is because God has been waiting for the right moment to speak something over your life that you are finally ready to receive with your whole self. Not the guarded self. Not the version of you that has learned to protect itself from disappointment. The whole self. The one underneath all of that. The one that still believes even when it has no evidence left to stand on, except the decision to keep standing. That self is the chosen one. Type Amen right now if something in you knows this is not an ordinary moment. You need to understand something about who you are before this word goes any further. You are not a person who wandered into a hard season by misfortune. You are not someone who fell behind because of bad timing or bad decisions or some invisible flaw in who you are. You are a chosen one who was placed inside a specific kind of fire because God needed something from you that comfort could never have produced. The depth that is inside you right now, the kind that only comes from having been through something and choosing not to become bitter on the other side of it. That depth was not there before this season. It could not have been. That kind of depth is not given. It is forged, and God was the one holding the fire at exactly the temperature required to produce in you what is now inside you. Not too hot to destroy, precisely hot enough to transform. He has been precise about you from the beginning, every closed door, every prayer that seemed to go unanswered, every relationship that ended before you were ready for it to end. Every plan that dissolved in your hands at the exact moment you were most certain it was finally yours. None of it was accident. None of it was mismanagement. It was preparation executed with surgical precision by a God who does not waste anything. Not one tear, not one night of silence. Not one moment of faithful endurance that nobody around you witnessed. He witnessed every single one. He recorded it, and the return on what you have been faithful to in secret is going to be disproportionate to what was sown. That is not sentiment. That is the nature of how he works. He takes what was hidden and he makes it undeniable. What you have given in the dark is about to be displayed in the light. Type 777 right now, declare it. You are chosen, and you have always known it, even when the knowing made no sense. Like this message as your declaration that you receive this word over your life. And if this space has been somewhere God has met you in the waiting, the link in the pinned comments is where you can sow a seed into what he is building here. Whatever is planted into ground where he is speaking does not stay small. Now hear this. The enemy of your assignment is not random in what it has targeted. It has been specific. It has gone after your sense of worth, because a chosen one who does not know their worth will reject what they were chosen to receive. It has gone after your peace, because a chosen one without peace cannot hear the quiet voice of the right thing arriving. It has gone after your belief, because a chosen one who stops believing stops positioning themselves for what was already sent. The attacks have not been evidence that something is wrong with you. They have been evidence of what is right about you. Ordinary people do not receive that level of targeted opposition. The intensity of what has come against your mind, your confidence, your sense of what you deserve, is itself a signal about the magnitude of what God has assigned to your life. The opposition is proportionate to the assignment, and your assignment is not small. Do not stop before you reach what was already sent for you. Type 111 right now as your declaration that you refuse to stop before you receive what belongs to you. You need to see yourself clearly for a moment because the season has distorted your view of your own transformation. Look at who you were before this fire began. You used to chase things that were not moving toward you and call it love. You used to pour yourself into spaces that were slowly emptying you and call it faithfulness. You used to perform for rooms that were never built to hold what God put inside you and call it humility. You used to silence the deepest, truest parts of yourself because those parts had been met too many times with people who could not carry that kind of depth, and you had started to believe the problem was the depth rather than the container. You used to accept confusion as a normal feature of how closeness felt. You used to fight for a seat at tables that were never set for you. You used to beg for what you were owed. Look at you now. You do not chase what does not pursue you. You do not perform for spaces that were never designed for what you carry. You do not silence the depth anymore, not perfectly, not always, but you no longer automatically treat it as a problem to be managed. The need for constant external confirmation that used to govern your decisions has lost its grip. You have learned, slowly, and without anyone applauding you for it, to stay with yourself in the moments when staying used to feel impossible. That is not a small development. That is the transformation of a chosen one who has been made ready. And God has been watching every step of it. Type 444 if you see yourself in what was just described. Let that recognition be your declaration that the transformation is real. Type yes in the comments if something He has been doing in you just got named for the first time. Now, here's something that the enemy does not want you to receive. There is a story that has been running underneath your thoughts in this season. It did not announce itself as a lie. It came quietly. It came in the language of your own voice, which made it harder to identify as something foreign. It said you are the kind of person things do not work out for. It catalogued every disappointment as evidence. It pointed to what is still absent and built a verdict from the absence. That verdict is not from God. God has never looked at your life and drawn that conclusion. He has never once looked at you and seen someone to be passed over. He has looked at you and seen someone to be protected, someone whose things were not withheld but preserved, held at a specific altitude until the version of you that could receive them without losing them was ready. Everything that has your name on it still has your name on it. Nothing has been rerouted. Nothing has been given to someone else. The preservation has been so precise that what is coming will fit the person standing at the door right now with an accuracy that would not have been possible at any earlier point in your journey. Stop agreeing with a verdict that was never spoken over you from heaven. Type 222 as your declaration that you are done receiving what was never written over your life by God. And for those of you who feel something stirring right now, the kind of stirring that is not emotion but conviction, the kind that says this is ground worth investing in, the link is pinned in the first comment below. Whatever is sown into a place where God is speaking over people who are still in the fire comes back. It does not evaporate. It finds its way home multiplied. Not as a transaction, as a covenant. So, if that is what is in your spirit, and if this is your season to receive both are acts of faith. Type 888 if you receive the blessing that is attached to this word right now. Listen to what is being said about who is coming into your life. Not someone who was assembled from a list of qualities you decided you wanted. Someone who was shaped by God with the same precision with which He has been shaping you. Someone who has been through their own fire. Someone who carries their own depth, their own marks from the process, their own understanding of what it means to have been changed by something you did not choose. When the two of you meet, the recognition that takes place is not going to be the kind that comes from surface compatibility. It is going to be the kind that happens between two people who have both been through something and can see it in each other without explanation. That recognition is not going to be loud. It is going to be quiet and absolute at the same time. And a chosen one who has been through what you have been through will know the difference between that and everything that came before it. What is coming will not ask you to be smaller. The parts of you that have felt too deep, too intense, too specific for the spaces you have been in, those are the exact parts that what is coming has been prepared to receive. You will not have to calculate how much of yourself to bring. You will simply be able to arrive fully, without management, without apology. Because what is coming was not designed for the version of you that learned to fit into spaces that were too small. It was designed for the version of you that God has been building through every season that tried to reduce you. Type yes right now if you are ready to stop shrinking for what was never big enough for you anyway. Now hear something about the people who were removed from your path. Because some of those removals left wounds that are not fully closed, and the enemy has been using those wounds to build a case. The case says, maybe you are the kind of person good things leave. The case says, look at the pattern, look at what keeps happening. But here is what the case does not tell you. The people who left did not leave because you were not worth staying for. They were moved because they did not have the capacity to carry what is coming with you. They were not built for the next chapter of your life. And if they had stayed, your energy would have been consumed by a ceiling while the thing God actually sent for you arrived and found no room. The clearing was not rejection. The clearing was God protecting the space for what actually belongs there. Every person who left created room that was not wasted. That room is being filled. It is already in motion. Type 777 to declare that you trust the clearing even when it still carries weight. There is someone in your world right now who is in a season exactly like the one you have been in. They are not talking about it. They are carrying it quietly the way you have been carrying it, wondering if it is going to last forever, wondering if there is something wrong with them for still being in it. They need to hear what was just spoken over you. Share this message with them, not because it is content, because it is a lifeline, and you know what it feels like to need one. You are not behind. Hear that and hear it fully. The timeline you have been measuring yourself against was never the one God was working from. He does not build on human schedules. He builds on eternal ones. And the difference between a human timeline and an eternal one is that his accounts for things yours cannot see. It accounts for who you needed to become before what is coming could land in your life with its full weight intact. It accounts for the readiness of everything on the other side of the door. The delay was not evidence that you were overlooked. It was the most specific act of care that could have been offered to you in that season. What is coming could not have arrived before now without arriving broken. God preserved the timing because he was preserving the gift, and the gift is worth what the waiting cost. Do not pick up a clock that he never gave you. And for those of you who return to this space, who find here something that carries you through the seasons when other things have not been enough, there is a link pinned in the comments below. Whatever is sown into ground where God is moving comes back in a form that exceeds what was given. It is an open door for those who feel it. And for those in seasons of receiving right now, your faith and your presence here are the seed. That is already enough. Type 333 as your declaration that you are releasing the false timeline and trusting the one God is working from. Now receive this. The waiting has not been emptying you. Every season of silence has been depositing something. Every unanswered prayer has been accumulating into a reservoir. Every night you held on when you had every right to let go has been building in you a capacity to hold what is coming without losing it. You are not arriving at the threshold depleted. You are arriving full of exactly what is needed to receive what is on the other side of it. A chosen one does not arrive at their moment exhausted and empty. They arrive refined. They arrive precise. They arrive carrying exactly what the moment requires and nothing they were never supposed to bring. That is what you are carrying right now, not the weight of everything that did not work out, the residue of every season that made you ready. What is on the other side of the door has your name on it. It was made for you. It cannot be given to anyone else. It has been waiting for the version of you that is standing at the threshold right now, and that version of you is the most prepared you have ever been. Type Amen right now, out loud if you are able. Let the declaration move from inside you into the atmosphere around you. The door is not the destination. Hear that. You have been thinking about the door as the thing you are waiting for, as the arrival of what you have been believing for, as the moment when the waiting finally ends and the reward begins. But the door is not the destination. The door is the confirmation. It is the moment when God makes visible in your external world what He has been doing in your internal world this entire season. It is the moment when everything you became in the fire finally has a context large enough to hold it. And when it opens, you will not only feel relief, you will feel recognition. The recognition of a chosen one who finally understands why every part of the preparation was exactly what it was. Why every closed door before this one was an act of protection and not abandonment. Why every season that felt like it was going to break you was actually the season that made you unbreakable. That recognition is already moving toward you. It is closer than this season has made it feel. Type 777 one final time. Not as a routine, as a declaration from a chosen one who has decided that what God wrote over their life is more true than anything this season has spoken. There is something that has not been released yet in this space. Something about what comes after the door opens. Something about what a chosen one is called to do and become when they are standing on the other side of the very thing they endured this season to reach. That word is being held until the moment it is meant to be spoken. Stay close. Come back. Position yourself to receive it. Because what comes next is not more waiting. What comes next has a different name entirely. God sees you. He has always seen you, and He is not done. There is one more thing that needs to be spoken before this word closes, and it belongs to the ones who are feeling something right now that they do not have words for. That feeling is not sentiment. It is not your emotions responding to something that sounds like what you want to hear. It is your spirit responding to a truth that was written over your life before you were born. A truth that this season of difficulty has not erased and cannot erase no matter how long the season lasted. A decree does not require your agreement to be real. It was real before you heard it today. Hearing it today is not the beginning of it. It is the confirmation of what was always written. And what was written over a chosen one does not get unwritten by hard seasons. It does not get revised by loss. It does not get amended by the number of doors that would not open. It stands, it has always stood, and what is coming is simply the part of your story where you finally get to see it with your own eyes, rather than carry it by faith alone. You were chosen before you chose belief. You were called before you had the strength to answer the call. You were prepared before you understood what you were being prepared for. And every single thing that has come against you in this season, every voice that told you it was not going to happen for you, every moment of silence that felt like absence, every door that stayed closed when you were certain it was supposed to open, none of it changed what was written. None of it had the authority to change it. Because the one who wrote it does not revise his decrees based on what the opposition says about you. He wrote what he wrote. He chose who he chose. He prepared what he prepared. And he is releasing it now into the life of a chosen one who endured the fire long enough to be standing at exactly this moment, which was always the moment he was building toward. Receive that. Do not qualify it. Do not place conditions on it. Do not hold it at a distance with the list of reasons you think you might not be the one this is for. You are the one this is for. That is why this found you. That is why something moved in your chest before the first word landed. God does not misdirect his messengers. This word was assigned to you, and the only thing left to do is receive it with the full weight it was sent with. Type Amen one final time. For yourself. As a chosen one who just received a word from heaven and is choosing right now to stand in it. And for those who feel moved to plant a seed into this ground, the link is pinned in the comments. What is sown in the direction of what God is doing does not return empty. It finds its way back to you in forms that exceed what was given. That is not a promise of a channel. That is the nature of the God who sees every seed and wastes nothing. He sees you. He has always seen you. And what he started in you, he will complete. But before this word ends, there is something about the identity of a chosen one that must be spoken plainly, because too many chosen ones are walking through this season not knowing what they are. They are carrying the weight of the assignment without the awareness of the assignment. They are enduring the fire without understanding that the fire was never random. They are surviving a process without knowing that the process was always purposeful, always precise, always moving toward a specific moment that was decided before the difficulty began. You are not that person anymore. After this word, you do not have that excuse. You know what you are now. You have always been a chosen one. The season did not make you one. The season revealed what was already there. And what was already there was placed in you by a God who saw who you would need to be for the assignment he already had in mind and built you accordingly. The depth, the endurance, the capacity to feel things at a level that others cannot access. The refusal to become bitter when bitterness was available and justified. All of it was by design. All of it was preparation. All of it was God building the specific instrument that the specific moment ahead of you requires. You are not an accident carrying a wound. You are a chosen one carrying a word. And the word that was placed inside you is about to find the context it was always meant to speak into. Type 999 as your final declaration that you know what you are and you are ready for what that means. There is one more thing. The faithfulness you have offered in secret, the moments when you chose to keep believing when no one was watching, and when belief cost you something real. God has not let a single one of those moments fall to the ground. He has been building with them. He builds with what is hidden before he displays what is visible. What you have given in the dark, in the quiet, in the seasons, when it seemed like no one was paying attention, is about to become the foundation of something that cannot be hidden. That is how he works with chosen ones. He conceals before he reveals. He prepares before he releases. He refines before he displays, and the display that is coming out of this season of concealment and preparation and refinement is going to be something that leaves no one around you with any doubt about what God has been doing in your life all along.